what's the purpose of having money? Just to have money? You can't take it with you. It's only the use of money that's useful. But you have to put something else first. Welcome back to another Deep Dive with Derek. I'm your host, Derek. Welcome back to another DAX Reaction. If this is your first time to this channel, I'd like to personally welcome you here. On this channel, we take a look at videos and poetry, music, and other forms of art through the lens of meaning and valued living. What that means is meaningful living is a collection of tools that we have to design and live a meaningful life. So we're looking at things through the lens of personal values, mindsets, narratives, purpose, resilience, mindfulness, basically everything that we can use to appreciate the upside of life and to get through and learn from the dark side of life. So if this is something that you like, consider subscribing for more like this. If you've been here before, welcome back. Certainly glad you could make it. If this is the kind of thing that you like, go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that I know that this is the kind of thing that is worth doing. I don't monetize this channel, so I think that the attention and the ad model is responsible for a lot of what's wrong with society. So I prefer a direct relationship with my audience. So if you do want to support this channel, you can buy me a beer, you can support me on Patreon, but you don't have to, of course. Now, one final thing on this channel, I go through this video twice. Once is just give me a raw reaction, as if you said, hey, Derek, check this video out, and I watched it front to end. Then I go through a second time with commentary. So if you don't want to stick around for the commentary, you don't have to. If you want to skip to the commentary, I'll put the time marker right here. So without further ado, let's get into Eternity by DAX.
And when you really examine the concept of eternity, one will find that there is no end. Life after death is a concept humans still don't understand.
How long is eternity? I don't understand. Some say forever, but if it's forever, then when does it come to an end? It's more than a concept, an infinite time that we spend. It confirms that our lives here on earth are a blip of existence and don't make a dent. As we get older, it creeps in our mind, the thought of the end and beginning of time. The life that we thought that we lived doesn't matter, approaching the thought that someday we all die. I get confused when I look in the sky. What is this water hitting my eyes? Maybe the rain is the pain and shame that hits earth when God cries. As we get older, we don't care what we did. It's not the things we receive, but the things we give. We try to go back to the time we were kids, but those shoes no longer fit. And then we finally realize that everyone dies, but not everyone lives. So I'm taking a chance. I'm living my life in the moment and not in a future that's not in my hands. I'm giving my time to the people who love me for everything that I am. I'm living my life in reality, not for a post that they'll tap when they open the gram. I'm doing whatever it takes. I'm not gonna dwell on my past mistakes. I'm bridging the gap between my dreams and what I see while I'm awake. They say leave it up to fate, well fate favors those who take. Cause if eternity's forever and all this is temporary, why wait? Humanity's lost. We obsess the price of material things, but at what cost? Then treat time like currency and spend it for applause, because we think that life is just a game we can turn on and off. We build, we break, renew, replace. We 9 to 5 and count the days for 40 years till 65, then live off what our pension pays. We fall in line as mental slaves. Our bodies work, our minds are caged, and that's why people say the richest place you'll find is at the graves, full of hopes and dreams that people never chased, full of feelings that we felt but never got to say. All the thoughts inside our heads that we kept stored and locked away. As our age increased and we got old and everything decayed, and when we finally realized that our whole lives was not a game, and that time was a commodity that we could not regain, and that we were in control and there was no one else to blame, is the day that we change. It's eternity, no way, no way. Eternity, no way, no way. It's eternity, no way. Eternity, no way. It's eternity, no way, no way. It's eternity, no way, no way. It's eternity, no way. Eternity, no way.
What are you doing with your time? What is your definition of happiness? Are you giving more than you're taking? And finally, if it were to all end right now, what are you holding on to that you need to let the world see?
Damn. So this is exactly why I love Dax. My first Dax song that I heard was The Abyss, and things like Dear Mom, things like Life, I think it's called Life. This is for real, man. And then the Richmond, North of Richmond remix that he did, all completely solid, and it all comes down to the same point, the same idea, which is your time is limited. So absolutely love it. I'm going to pick up more things the second time. So if you want to check out, that's okay. Give a thumbs up on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't. Otherwise, let's get into some commentary. Let's check it out again, see what we can learn.
And when you really examine the concept of eternity, one will find that there is no end. Life after death is a concept humans still don't understand.
So I like the Neil deGrasse Tyson cameo or sample or whatever it is, but this is can't be stated enough. We do not understand the concept of infinity. We can't grasp infinity. You know what it means. You kind of know what it means, but you don't really know what infinity means or eternity. Because I've heard it this way. Think of the biggest number you can think of. The biggest number you can think of. Whatever that biggest number is, you can take it to that same number's power and get a gigantic number. And then you can take that number to that power. It never ends. There's no such thing as an end. That's what the technical term for that is bonkers. So that can't be stated enough. We don't understand. We can't grasp infinity. It doesn't make sense to us.
How long is eternity? I don't understand. Some say forever, but if it's forever, then when does it come to an end?
Well, never. That's what forever means. Forever is, strictly speaking, infinity.
It's more than a concept, an infinite time that we spend. It confirms that our lives here on Earth are a blip of existence and don't make a dent.
So this is interesting. This is like saying that the traditional schooling system, K through 12 here in the States, I know he's Canadian. I think it's very similar there. Grade 1 through grade 13. Do they call? I don't know. We call it kindergarten the first year, and then first grade second. But it was kind of a product of the industrial age where we were kind of grooming workers, factory workers. So there's a lot of chatter nowadays that the education model is due for a change. I tend to agree with that. But what are we building for? You do good in this grade, and then you get to go to the next grade, and then the next grade, and then you're just following the machine. So I like those handcuffs.
As we get older, it creeps in our mind. The thought of the end and beginning of time. The life that we thought that we lived doesn't matter. Approaching the thought that someday we all die. I get confused when I look in the sky.
Yeah, here we got somebody being reprimanded for being creative.
What is this water hitting my eyes? Maybe the rain is the pain and shame that hits earth when God cries. As we get older, we don't care what we did. It's not the things we receive, but the things we give.
Yeah, so we don't remember what we did. This concept is called hedonic adaptation. We just get used to it. And the goalposts move. I did this thing, and then it's now what's next. That's kind of goes back to that handcuffs on the child going into school. What's next? Okay, you graduated high school. So what? What now? What did you do for me lately? Now you got to go to college. Now you got to go to grad school. Now you got to get a job. Now you got to get a partner. Now you got to blah, 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 blah. On and on it goes. And so then he gave us a second frame, which is it's not so much what we have, it's what we give that contributes to a life of meaning. And social connection is a common theme no matter what study you look at. Social connections are one of the core building blocks of a meaningful life.
We try to go back to the time we were kids, but those shoes no longer fit. And then we finally realize that everyone dies, but not everyone lives.
Shout out to Braveheart. Every man dies, not every man truly lives. That's such a powerful statement, though, you know. And we're gonna listen to that again. Everyone dies, not everyone truly lives. Which is to say, you are given. I mean, you were born. You were completely lucky. Think of all the things that had to happen at the exact time in the exact same order that they did in order for you to exist. And now that you do, we're the only creatures, we're the only species that we know of that can fast forward into the future. We can look, we can plan, which is good. But it doesn't take a lot of mental energy to forecast out long enough. And we get to see that we have to die. So we're lucky to be born, and we have a finite amount of time left. That's it. How do you want to use that time? It's very profound.
And then we finally realize that everyone dies, but not everyone lives. So I'm taking a chance. I'm living my life in the moment and not in a future that's not in my hands.
Yep. So the future's not guaranteed. At the same time, we can't put everything into today because it's likely that you will survive into the future. So there is a future you that will need you. So it's about balancing. It's not just living for today, live like you're dying, because then you're not setting yourself up for a good future. But his point is to stop doing the Ebenezer Scrooge, where you're only living for the future, or I'm putting off my happiness, contingent happiness. I'll be happy as soon as something. You don't have time for that. Be happy now, while still working for something in the future. There's nothing that prevents you from doing that, but don't put off your happiness. Don't put off your life. Live today and plan for tomorrow.
I'm giving my time to the people who love me forever.
This is Mom. I think this is his mom.
That I am. I'm living my life in reality, not for a post that they'll tap when they open the gram. I'm doing.
This is this is funny. This is what happens. I mean, it doesn't count unless you can put it on social media, right? So look at me, I'm giving money to a homeless person.
Whatever it takes, I'm not gonna dwell on my past mistakes. I'm bridging the gap between my.
I don't know what that one was. What was the two ladies chasing this guy? And then over on the left, we've got, gold digging type woman who likes this guy just because he's got his stuff.
And when I see while I'm awake, they say leave it up to fate. Well, fate favors those who take. Because if eternity's forever and all this is temporary, why wait?
It is temporary. Why wait? Exactly. So don't put off living your life. Live now. Do what you need to do now. Because it's not just you that's going to die. Everyone that you love is going to die, and many of them are going to predecease you. So you're going to run out of time to be with those people. And you're going to predecease others. So you're going to leave others grieving. And this is just a fact that we try really hard to avoid.
Humanity's lost.
This is amazing. This is really funny. So money is nothing but a means to an end. Money is just a tool. Right? So if your goal is money, then that's worthless. Again, Ebenezer Scrooge I already brought up. What's the purpose of having money? Just to have money? You can't take it with you. It's only the use of money that's useful. But you have to put something else first. Money props up your life. Money supports your life, whatever that means to you. Money is not a goal. Money is just a tool.
We obsess the price of material things, but at what cost? Then treat time like currency and spend it for applause, because we think that life is just a game we can turn on and off. We build, we break, renew, replace. We 9 to 5 and count the days for 40 years till 65, then live off what our pension pays. We fall in line as mental.
This is funny too. This is a guy named Gary Vee, you might be familiar with. He has a whole, it's not just a quote. He's got a whole lifestyle, a whole message that says if you live for the weekends, if you celebrate Friday night and Saturday and Sunday morning and you detest the rest, your shit is broken. So I don't think personally I go that far, because there are a lot of us who I have to work at a job that I don't like. at least in the short run, a lot of things can be done to maybe change that. Or you can take the job that you have that you do hate and kind of job craft it and see it as something more meaningful. There's studies of, say, janitors at hospitals, and the janitors who think I'm just a janitor are less satisfied than than janitors who see themselves as part of the healthcare system. I'm the person that makes it comfortable for these patients. I'm part of the process that helps these people get better. Doing that is to be a janitor, of course, but the bigger purpose is what I'm helping do. So there's ways you can job craft even a crappy job, or what you might consider a crappy job. And then in the long run, you can take steps to get a better job. But if your life is just everybody's working for the weekend, it's time to rethink that. That's what the message is.
Slaves, our bodies work, our minds are caged, and that's why people say the richest place you'll find is at the graves full of hopes and dreams. This is a powerful bit. Here's what we like doing. Here's what we have to do. And again, there's nothing wrong with having a job that supports what you want to do. So there's nothing wrong about this in and of itself, but it does highlight or focus that, or point out to us that we should be more intentional about what we do to earn a living. People never chased, full of feelings that we felt but never got to say. All the thoughts inside our heads that we kept.
Top regret is a woman named Bronnie Ware wrote a book. She worked as an end-of-life caregiver. Wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. The first one is, I didn't allow myself to be happy. I lived a life that others expected of me. So these people that are going to do office jobs, are they doing that because they think that's what they're supposed to do? And the second one is, fifth one is, I didn't allow myself to be happy. I put off my happiness. That's the person on the hamster wheel. I'll be happy as soon as something, I'll be happy sometime in the future, but the future might never come. Regret number 3 is I didn't have the courage to express myself, which is what's going on here. I had these things to say, but I hid them away in a closet. Number 2 is I worked too much. And you see a lot of themes in this video around people who are just working at the expense of other things. So all of those have been talked about. The only one that I haven't seen yet, at least directly, the 4th regret of the dying, is that I lost touch with my friends. I lost touch with my family members. And we were deeply social creatures. So we found out that it's too late before we make those connections. But this here, I didn't have the courage to express myself. When we get to the end of our lives, we tend to wish I would have spoken up more, that I would have let my opinions be known more.
Stored and locked away as our age increased and we got old and everything decayed. And when we finally realized it all.
Yeah, what's he say? Go today, don't wait. Yeah, before you know it, time moves differently when you're older than when you're younger. Pretty soon you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, I'm old. And now I don't have the energy or the ability to do some of the things that I wish I would have done.
Our whole lives was not a game, and that time was a commodity that we could not regain, and that we were in control.
That's a cool shot too. I love that shot. They must have done this in 2. That's an interesting shot.
And there was no one else to blame. Is the day.
People who get diagnoses like this, they now are on their deathbed. This is the triggering moment when we start to have those regrets. 1, I didn't live a life that was true to myself. 2, I worked too much. 3, I didn't express myself. 4, I lost touch with my friends. 5, I didn't allow myself to be happy. That's when they have these regrets. And so Bronnie Ware's point of writing that book, and my point in shouting this from the treetops, and I believe Dax's point in writing these kinds of songs, is to say you don't have to wait until it's too late. You can choose to live your few dozen years in a way that you would happily do again.
Now we change. It's eternity, no way, no way. Eternity, no way, no way. It's eternity, no way. Eternity, no way. It's eternity, no way, no way. It's eternity, no way, no way. It's
Lots said about people stuck on their screens. Screen addiction is a big deal, and you lose social connection. You think you have so many friends, so many connections, but you don't actually have true friendships.
What are you doing with your time?
Exactly. I mean, you get at best 90 years. You're certainly not guaranteed 90 years, and you're certainly not guaranteed 90 good years. But 90 years is about all you got. 80 is about life expectancy, and you've lived some of those. So what are you going to do with the rest of that time?
What is your definition of happiness? Are you giving more than you're taking?
I love that he's able to lip sync this because he's hitting it perfectly.
And finally, if it were to all end right now, what are you holding on to that you need to let the world see?
Or is this Neil deGrasse Tyson and he's lip syncing? Or is this some kind of an AI generated thing, deep fake style, where he talks and then they turn his voice into Neil deGrasse Tyson's? I'm curious about that. This is exactly the kind of stuff that I'm into. This is why I like Dax. This type of stuff speaks to me, but you're here for a Dax reaction, so you must like the song. What does it say to you? What brings you to the song? What brings you to reactions about this song? What parts of the song spoke most to you? And, furthermore, what else should I check out? Any other songs that I'm missing? Any other artists that I need to check out? Let me know in the comments. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. Let me know this is the kind of thing I should keep doing. And if you're new here, consider subscribing if you want more content like this. So I'm excited to continue checking out more Dax. I love everything about him. Hey, D-Rock again. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy what I'm doing here. If this kind of thing is interesting to you, and especially if you like those bad drawings at the beginning, you might be interested in my weekly newsletter. It explores money's role in a meaningful life. So you can check that out at meaning.blog if you want. It takes this and it goes a lot deeper. So if you like that, check it out. Let me know what else I should be doing, what else I could be doing, and I'll see you here next time.